Level 1. You look out over the rolling mist of the Appalachian Mountains, where the heavy scent of damp earth and pine fills your lungs. 4 generations. Your family has carved a modest existence out of these ancient, rugged hills, learning to survive on nothing but hard work and unyielding grit. However, the times are changing, and the quiet hollows no longer offer the security they once did. Jobs are desperately scarce, the local economy is drying up, and the weight of your family's financial future presses heavily on your young shoulders. Every morning brings the same quiet anxiety about tomorrow, a persistent whisper that your dreams are suffocating in this beautiful but isolated wilderness. You realize that staying means accepting a cycle of poverty, and the burning desire to provide a better life starts to outweigh the comfort of the only home you have ever known. With a heavy but determined heart, you pack your few belongings, knowing you must leave the sanctuary of the mountains for Lexington. Level 2. The drive down from the hills feels like a slow detachment from your own soul, each mile stretching the distance between your past and your unknown future. As the skyline of Lexington emerges on the horizon, your breath catches in your throat, not from awe, but from a sudden, paralyzing wave of intimidation. The soft whispers of the wind through the trees are abruptly replaced by the deafening roar of roaring traffic, screeching tires, and shouting strangers. Towering buildings of glass and steel block out the wide sky you used to look at for comfort, making you feel incredibly small and insignificant. You step out of your battered truck into the sweltering city heat, immediately feeling like an alien who has landed on an entirely different planet. The sheer speed of everyone around you is dizzying. People rush past without a glance, locked in their own chaotic worlds. In this overwhelming, crowded concrete jungle, you are utterly alone, gripping your steering wheel with white knuckles. Level 3. The first few weeks in Lexington test the very boundaries of your endurance and spirit as you desperately search for any honest employment. You walk miles through the burning city streets, your boots wearing thin, handing out resumes to businesses that view you with immediate suspicion. Every door seems to close in your face, and the repetitive, cold rejections begin to chip away at your initial confidence and hope. Employers glance at your simple background and see no value in the practical skills you spent a lifetime learning in the hills. The burning desire to succeed is still there, but it is constantly threatened by the growing fear of absolute failure. You return to your cramped, stifling room every evening with aching muscles and a heavy spirit, wondering if you made a terrible mistake. The pressure to find a job becomes a suffocating weight, a relentless countdown against the rapidly disappearing savings in your pocket. Level 4. The financial pressure quickly tightens around you like a vice, turning every single day into a stressful battle for survival. Your rent is due, the prices of basic groceries are shockingly high, and every dollar you spend feels like a betrayal of your future. You find yourself sitting in the dark of your tiny, cheap apartment, skipping meals just to make sure you have enough gas to get to your next interview. The constant, nagging anxiety makes it impossible to sleep, keeping you awake as you count pennies and calculate costs over and over. You feel a deep, burning shame that you cannot even support yourself easily, let alone send money back home to the family counting on you. The city does not care about your empty stomach or your desperation. It demands payment regardless of your struggles. In these dark, quiet hours, the financial burden feels like a physical crushing force, threatening to break your resolve completely. Level 5. The fast-paced, commercial culture of Lexington isolates you deeply, making you feel like a ghost, drifting through a society that does not speak your language. Back home, neighbors greeted you with genuine warmth, but here, people look straight through you with cold, indifferent eyes as they rush past. The profound loneliness sets in during the quiet evenings when the silence of your room is broken only by distant sirens. You miss the comfort of your family's laughter around the dinner table, the familiar creak of the porch, and the safety of unconditional love. Every phone call back to the mountains is a bittersweet torment, hearing their voices while hiding the true extent of your misery. You pretend to be doing well because you refuse to burden them with your pain, hanging up the phone only to weep silently in the dark. This deep emotional isolation is far more painful than the physical exhaustion, a hollow ache that follows you everywhere. Level 6. You quickly learn that your Appalachian roots carry a heavy stigma in this modern city, exposing you to painful prejudice and cruel judgment. The moment you speak, your thick, slow mountain accent draws mocking smirks, patronizing sighs, and immediate dismissals from sophisticated city dwellers. People openly treat you as if you are uneducated, backward, and entirely incapable of handling complex tasks or professional responsibilities. You see the subtle, hurtful condescension in the eyes of store clerks, landlords, and potential employers who judge your worth by your origins. This blatant disrespect sparks a fierce, defensive anger inside your chest, a burning desire to prove every single one of them completely wrong. You refuse to let their arrogance define your capabilities, or diminish the pride you feel for the honorable people who raised you. Instead of crushing your spirit, their mockery fuels a stubborn, relentless fire within you to conquer this city on your own terms. Level 7. The turning point arrives when you finally secure a grueling, low-paying job at a local manufacturing warehouse. Grasping the opportunity with absolute desperation, you quickly realize that relying on your old skills is not enough, so you dedicate every spare second to learning new technical trades. While others rest, you stay late, watching the mechanics, studying complex equipment manuals, and practicing advanced computer skills until your eyes burn. Your work ethic, forged in the demanding environment of the mountains, quickly sets you apart from your complacent, unmotivated city peers. You volunteer for the toughest shifts, handle the heaviest workloads, and accept every difficult challenge with a quiet, fierce determination. The burning desire to succeed transforms from a desperate hope into a sharp, calculated strategy for personal and professional advancement. Slowly, your supervisors begin to notice your undeniable competence, realizing that beneath your humble demeanor lies an incredibly valuable and unstoppable worker. Level 8. Your relentless sacrifices finally begin to yield tangible results as you earn your first major promotion and a significant raise. The financial suffocating grip loosens, allowing you to breathe a genuine sigh of relief for the first time in many months. You move out of your depressing, cramped room into a small, clean apartment with large windows that let in the warm morning sunlight. Your growing professional confidence attracts a few genuine, loyal friends who respect your integrity and appreciate the unique perspective you possess. You begin to understand the complex rhythm of Lexington, navigating its busy streets and social expectations with a new, quiet grace. The stinging memories of early rejection fade into the background, replaced by a profound sense of pride in your hard-earned independence. You are no longer just surviving in this intimidating city. You are finally building a stable foundation and actively thriving. Level 9. Years flow past like a swift river, and your unwavering dedication elevates you to a position of true prosperity and respect. You establish your own successful business, marry a wonderful partner, and build a beautiful, spacious home filled with love and modern comforts. Your children grow up with every advantage you never had, attending excellent schools and living a life completely free from financial fear. You are now a recognized, highly respected member of the Lexington community, welcomed into circles that once would have ignored you. The burning desire that drove you out of the mountains has been fully realized, giving you total material comfort and security. You look at your beautiful family, your thriving estate, and your healthy bank account, knowing you achieved this through pure merit. You have successfully conquered the concrete jungle, transforming yourself from a penniless immigrant of the hills into a wealthy, influential man. Level 10. As the autumn of your life approaches, your hair turns silver and the frantic pace of your business naturally begins to slow down. The grand house becomes quiet as your children grow up and move away to start their own independent lives in distant cities. In this peaceful, reflective period, you find that the material wealth you fought so hard to acquire loses its magical, satisfying luster. The expensive cars, the elegant parties, and the high social status no longer provide the deep fulfillment they once promised you. A strange, unexpected restlessness settles into your spirit, making you feel like a visitor in your own luxurious, comfortable life. You find yourself standing on your manicured lawn, looking past the city lights toward the distant, invisible horizon where the mountains rest. The material success is undeniable. Yet an inexplicable emptiness begins to grow within your heart, a silent longing for something deeply missing. Level 11. The memories of your Appalachian childhood return with a fierce, beautiful intensity, flooding your mind during the long, quiet evenings. You find yourself vividly remembering the sharp, sweet smell of morning fog rising off the creek behind your childhood home. You can still feel the cold, rough texture of the mountain dirt beneath your bare feet and the absolute peace of the wilderness. The simple melodies of old bluegrass songs you haven't heard in decades begin to echo constantly in your waking thoughts. You realize that despite your decades of urban success, your soul never truly adapted to the artificial rhythms of the city. The memory of your parents' humble, honest lifestyle seems far more valuable now than all the accumulated wealth in your bank account. You long for the genuine, uncomplicated relationships of your youth, where a person's word was a sacred, unbreakable bond of trust. Level 12. In the final days of your long journey, you sit quietly by the window, watching the Lexington rain streak the glass. You finally understand the profound truth that your roots were never left behind in those distant, mist-shrouded Appalachian hills. No matter how high you climbed or how much wealth you amassed, the mountains never truly lost their tight grip on you. The city gave you fortune, but the hollows gave you your identity, your strength, and your enduring, unbreakable spirit. You close your eyes, smiling softly as the distant sounds of traffic transform into the gentle rustle of forest leaves. You are at total peace, knowing that your long, exhausting exile is finally nearing its natural, inevitable end. Your true home was never the beautiful mansion you built, but the wild, sacred earth where your life first began.